Namaste, beloved. How are you? My name is Syma, and I am a sacred feminine and spiritual coach, healer, and author. I have the blessing of supporting sensitive, soulful women all over the world in uncovering and healing their greatest inner blocks, manifesting their boldest dreams, and flourishing in every way into the goddesses that they truly are. Now, one of the greatest themes that seems to emerge in all my work and has been a very prominent point of healing for me in my own life is healing the wounding around self-worth. Because no matter what we're trying to manifest on the outside, so many of our blocks and frustrations and delays and painful self-sabotaging patterns that we continuously experience in our lives usually come down to, I feel always come down to our relationship with ourselves and the divine, right? And learning to cultivate a divine relationship with ourselves and the universe, and however we connect with the divine. So as those of you who follow my work, you know that I'm a goddess coach. So of course my focus tends to be on sharing a sacred feminine and spiritual perspective with you. And I would love to share with you today some beautiful step-by-step guidance to help you on your journey of healing your self-worth, because I can guarantee you once you learn to love yourself, right? All of us learn about loving ourselves as the key to manifesting love in our lives and success, and so we know that already intellectually, but there's a difference between embodying it and cultivating self-worth. Can be a very powerful part of that process, right? So you're not just understanding to love yourself conceptually, but you're really living that. And that comes from self-worth. Now, self-worth in terms of our being is connected to the solar plexus chakra. So that's in the center of your belly, as well as the sacral for women. We have a lot of self-worth connected to our body, our sexuality, intimacy, and this can of course get damaged with experiences that I have had, like sexual abuse or any kind of trauma or a painful experience connected to our intimate relationships. So it's a very complex journey in terms of all the wounding that can happen to our sense of self-worth. And I'm hoping that the goddesses that I will be introducing you today will really support you in reclaiming your self-worth so that you can be centered in your true power and worth and value and self-love and self-esteem and self-respect, and watch your life miraculously shift and everything uplift. So my love, the first goddess that I want to introduce you to on your path that I find very helpful in healing our self-worth is Mother Mary. And for me, Mother Mary represents so many things, but in this particular journey, she's going to be representing healing the inner child. And the reason for that is that so many of our hang-ups and our struggles around how we feel about ourselves or don't feel about ourselves, and the kinds of experiences we keep happening, whether it's friends or bosses or colleagues or lovers who just don't honor us and treat us with the love, kindness, support, respect that we crave so deeply, it usually stems back to our childhood experiences and the love that may have been withheld from us from our father or mother, or our friends, or people in school. So it's really essential to be willing to heal our inner child. And I find Mother Mary can be a very gentle, kind, loving ally to help you to grieve for all the pain that you experienced as a child. Perhaps like myself, I had every form of abuse, physical, emotional, sexual, from different men, relatives, and people that were in the house, physical from and emotional from my parents. So I really know how it feels to have no self-worth, and in fact to have complete self-loathing. And on my journey and my journey of supporting my clients, there's always an element of going back to childhood. Now, you don't have to do years of therapy for this. This could be just holding sacred space for yourself as you process your childhood significant experiences and the conclusions that you made about yourself. How, as children, we don't really know how to process things. So we internalize them and we make them about us. And that's where a lot of healing needs to happen. And Mother Mary can be a wonderful ally to support you with that. and not just grieving, but processing and loving and feeling your way into gentle and compassionate healing, my love. So the next goddess in the path then is very different energy, and this is Kali. This is saying, okay, now that we are aware of all maybe the people and the life situations from early childhood onwards that made us feel unworthy or not good enough, it's time to reclaim our power. It's time to now process them but not be a victim, right? Not feel like we're powerless over the things that have happened to us, but that we in the present have the power to heal the past by completely changing and transforming the conclusions that we made about them. And we can do that now in the power of the present moment. Kali is there like this warrioress to help you to summon your inner courage. And sometimes we need that strength, because when we're not in self-worth, as I have been, you're just in such a place of self-pity and self-criticism and not feeling good enough and not talking kindly to yourself, that you sort of need to summon that badass warrior goddess who does not have patience for that kind of self-talk. And in fact, will help you to cut the cords with all these self-sabotaging beliefs and patterns and help you to reclaim the truth of who you are, which is divine. And that's the other thing. When healing our self-worth, we have to remember that your worth does not come from what you do, what you've accomplished, your status, what you've been through, how much money you make, your success, your family, nothing. Your worth is inherent because you are divine. And Kali is that ultimate truth bringer who cuts away all illusion, sometimes very uncomfortably. Sometimes our whole life has to turn upside down. And we have to create that new foundation, even though it's painful. But Kali loves us that much. The universe loves you that much that it will give you the most uncomfortable initiation into claiming who you are, remembering who you are, which is a divine embodiment of your divine loving creator, God, goddess. So that's then about reclaiming yourself, overcoming the fears and the limitations and the illusions and the attachments to this old, disempowered and false identity that you may have been attached to that kept you in a place of lack of self-worth. And then we want to again counter this with a lot of compassion. So Quan Yin, the Buddhist goddess of compassion and wisdom and grace, comes through, and working with her in my work with my clients in my own journey, and what I invite you to consider is, this is now, my love, about just offering yourself unconditional compassion and extracting the lessons and blessings from all your experiences, seeing everyone in your life so far as a spiritual teacher, and then offering yourself so much compassion so that you can really transcend those experiences with grace and wisdom. And again, so much compassion and gentleness. And then I would love for you to consider refilling yourself with true divine self-love. So the goddess Aphrodite is here to help us with that as we awaken our self-worth that stems from remembering that you are God, goddess manifest. Okay, so you are the physical embodiment of the divine. You are this body, this being, this human self is the expression and extension of your soul, which is infinite and a beautiful eternal light, a spark. So learn to re-love yourself. Give yourself now all the love that you're craving, all the love that maybe you didn't receive. Take back your power and give to yourself all the unconditional love and acceptance that you deserve by default. Okay, and there's nothing that's ever happened to you that can make you less worthy of that, and there's nothing that you have to do to earn that. So Aphrodite is there to remind you that you are a goddess of love, and love is who you are. So now fill yourself with this and let this overflow as a truth of who you are. And finally, now, in order to integrate all of this, we want to activate our inner Bridget. Bridget is a triple goddess, and so she's a beautiful embodiment of the maiden mother crone. I talk more about those archetypes in my video, Embracing the Divine Feminine or Your Goddess Self, and I'll leave a link for that video for you. But Bridget is now about centering into your divine worth and value and ensuring that that is the standard that you set for yourself. So up-leveling all your standards and your boundaries so that you have this expectation that you will be treated with the divine, everything that you experience in life must be a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And as you feel into yourself as the divine being that you are, you will naturally and instantly up-level everything that happens to you in your life. Now, this doesn't mean that challenges won't happen. Obviously, we know we're human beings, and in our whole existence is about these cycles. We will still experience challenges. However, you won't still attract experiences like the past when you didn't have that self-worth. So just a really simple example from my life, one of the most powerful ones too, is when I had no self-worth. I was in a dark night of the soul, and I entered a relationship with a longtime friend who just ended up wanting to, you know, not be really committed, and that was very devastating for me. And his rejection made me feel even worse about myself, and in the relationship with him I actually felt lonelier with him, even though in my space of depression and self-loathing I was hoping that being with him would help me to feel less lonely. But he had so many of his own issues, and I started playing rescuer and create this really, you know, almost a codependent pattern, and then thankfully was able to break free of that. But the way that he treated me and how emotionally distant he was and how even more insecure that was making me feel, that was all a reflection of how I felt about myself. And thankfully, when I walked away from that relationship very quickly and just focused on myself and all this work that I've shared with you, I didn't just have to heal that. I had to go back to childhood. I had to go back through past lives. So in my one-on-one work, I do a lot of karmic healing and past life healing. We work with the goddess Isis and a couple of archangels for that. But really deep spiritual soul level work, and through that transformation, then ending up on the other side of that journey, feeling like the goddess of love and honoring myself like Bridget, I manifested Eric, my beloved husband, and he treats me like a queen, like a goddess, and I am so grateful because he is my divine right masculine, amazing companion, so empowered and centered in his masculinity, and yet also so heart-centered and spiritual. So I was able to attract him because I built up my divine self-worth, and also was able to leave a horrible, toxic corporate, soul-draining career where I was constantly dealing with tyrants, right? Because at the time I didn't value myself, so that was being reflected back to me. And now I have this amazing, beautiful dream career of being my own boss and being location-free, being abundant, and serving the most beautiful, lovely, sensitive, sweet, kind clients. So again, this would not be possible if I hadn't healed my self-worth. And so it's such a blessing to support you on your journey, and I promise you, you will experience your own miracles. You will see dreams coming true that you didn't even dream for yourself when you remember who you truly are, which is a God, goddess, manifest, an embodiment of the divine, infinitely and eternally worthy. I hope this has supported you. I would love for you to come to flourishinggoddess.com, my online temple, my website, where I would love to shower you with a meditation so you can really experience all this healing on so many levels and meet some of the goddesses that we shared, if not all of them. And I take you through healing journey of your chakras. So come on over at flourishinggoddess.com for that, my loves. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, there's information there on how you can set up a one-on-one Skype coaching session with me. And just let me know in the comments how this has served you. Let me know in terms of your self-worth, what areas do you struggle with? Where does it show up for you? Is it in your relationships? Is it with money? Is it with career? Is it with friendships? Is it with love, health? I would love to hear so I can continue to serve you and just make more videos to support and empower you on your journeys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has really supported you. And remember, you are divine. I'm sending you all my love. Namaste.